This is the Tackle Club saltwater inshore box for July. Let's dive right in. Alright, first up we're going to start with the big one in the box from our friends at Rapala with the X-Rap Magnum stick. So this is a long casting sinking stick bait. Big heavy weight, so you're going to get a long cast with this. Pump long cast out, hits the water, it's going to slow sink down, and then you can start your retrieve. I like to do the sweep and one retrieve, so a big pull and then one you slack line in, big pull, and this thing will just cause us to like dart off in a quick S swimming motion, and then pause and sink back down again. You keep doing that over and over. It's just gonna look like this darting bait fish just swimming all over the place. Absolutely fantastic. You can obviously just do a straight burn retrieve as well. So do whatever retrieve works for you, but something like this is gonna be fantastic over like some of your shallows, especially if you're up north where you got some of these bigger reef fish. Ripping it over top of this shallow reef can be a lot of fun. Big GTs, coral trout, all that sort of fun stuff. Now you can also use this for chasing tuna as well, kingies, big mixture of things. It comes pre-rigged with heavy single hooks on the back, so you know that when they get hooked, they're probably not going to throw your lure as easily as if you had trebles on it. And something like this, long casts, cover a lot of ground, a lot of fun to get those big bites. Next up, we have the Wizard Tackle Big Eye Bucktail jig. So kind of a funny looking thing, but got a big lead weight on the front, pre-rigged with a swinging hook in the back. It's got some nice fur tail finish on this as well, so you can work it like a jig just straight up and down, or you can also work this on the cast and retrieve like a plastic. So there's a few different options you can use it with there. I like to work this on the jig and just get that skirt on the back just dancing up and down is fantastic. That big weight will get it down nice and deep and just work it nice and slow up and down. Now if you want to work this on the cast and retrieve, obviously be a little bit careful on what structure you fish over because you can be prone to get snagged up. The big heavy head on the front will get this down deep, including deep into the snags. So that's why my preference with this sort of a thing is vertical fishing with it. Then we've got 3 different soft plastic options for you here. Going to start off this one from our friends at Chase Baits. This is the Smash Crab. So just a single hook through the main body, and this thing has a nice slow sink, and the legs and the nippers on this thing, you got to see it have a nice little vibration and shudder as this thing falls down. I like to work this over some shallower waters. I'm not going to fish this too deep because it will take a long time to get to the bottom, and by then the current's probably taken it 50 meters to the side. So you need to try and fish this a little bit shallower, over some structure, over some shallow reefs, some shoals, etc. is going to be absolutely perfect. Sink it down onto those rocks, work it down, work it nice and slow. Make sure you add in a lot of pauses as well, and these things can be fire. Another one from our friends at Chase Baits. This one here is the Curly Vibe, with the 85mm Curly Vibe here. So it's just like a normal soft plastic vibe, so you fish it just like one of them, but this thing has a little curl tail on the back, just giving it a little bit more vibration and action through the water as you cast and retrieve this. If I'm fishing deeper waters, I'm going to be more than happy just to drop this straight down and just vibe it off the bottom. Is fantastic. If you're chasing snapper and the snapper aren't on the bottom, they're a bit sort of mid-range through the water column, then just bring this up and just jig it straight in their face and you're bound to get a good hit. If you're fishing some flats though, where there's some scattered shoals or scattered rocks and stuff like that, feel free to cast this out and just do a hopping retrieve or a straight retrieve over the top of that structure is going to work fine as well. And last but not least, from Shad's Lures, we have these little Flicktail plastics here. So rig them up with your desired jig head. If you're fishing deeper waters, you might want to go like 1 ounce or maybe even more, obviously depending how deep you're going. I like to fish these on a slightly heavier jig head than I normally would. I like that fast sort of up and down darting motion. Can jig with these as well, just drop it straight down, work it up, speed whip it as well as you wind it straight through that water column, heaps different ways. Cast and retrieve on a weedless jig head. You can cover heaps of different options with soft plastics like these. I've done several times with something like this, just straight up and down for golden trevally. You find a big school of golden trevally, drop them straight into them, whip it up and down. If you find a nice thing of shoals, cast out, let it sink to the bottom, do a hopping retrieve straight back. That's going to work as well. You can do so much with the Flicktail plastic. It's all on the angler to how you want to fish it. And that's it for the saltwater inshore box this month. If you want to check it out or any of the others in the range, just head to www.tackleclub.com.au. Pick a box that's right for you, and welcome to the club.